I think we're live. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got the final video of the day. This is a sponsored video. I was paid $50 to cover the topic of the payer's choosing. And this handsome man requested that I look at a stunk called Devon Energy Corporation, ticker symbol DVN. So we're going to go through this sponsored video, which you can get too. You pay me $50, I'll cover whatever topic you want. I just don't give stock price predictions or valuations. So let's go ahead and dive into this company. And I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. And this is just me skimming the financial statements. So here we have Devon Energy Corporation, ticker symbol DVN. It's got a market cap of $20.5 billion. Let's make sure we're sharing. Okay, we're sharing. Market cap of $20.5 billion, revenue of $14 billion in the last 12 months, and net income, so profitable, of $3.4 billion. The dividend yield is currently 4.65%. This is a dividend-paying company. Seems pretty typical in the oil industry, okay? They're returning capital to the shareholders. The beta, interestingly, is 2. Beta is a measure of volatility. When you look at the long-term chart of this company, I want you to look at this chart. Okay, this goes all the way back to 1993, it looks like. Look at this chart, and then look at the chart of crude oil. Crude oil. Devon Energy. Do you notice a correlation here, ladies and gentlemen? This company engages in the exploration, development, and production of oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquids. And the stock can be highly volatile because it's based on oil. If this company's getting a bunch of oil out of the ground and then oil prices massively skyrocket, this company's profits are going to explode. If there's some kind of shock or some kind of like huge event where oil prices drop massively, well, guess what? This company's probably not going to make as much money. And my concern right off the bat, maybe it's unfounded, but my concern right off the bat is with Trump coming in, he wants to open the spigots on oil. His plan is to kind of bring down inflation partially by lowering the cost of oil because it kind of like seeps through the entire economy. So if he's, giving all these permits to oil exploration, in my humble opinion, wouldn't that increase the supply of oil? And if the supply of oil increases relative to the demand, wouldn't oil prices go down? So that's a potential risk. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen to freaking oil price. I mean, anything could happen. There could be, the Middle East could go up in a huge war. Who freaking knows? And oil could skyrocket. The future's unpredictable. But you got to understand that there's that risk with Trump. And there's also the risk that oil can go anywhere. You're basically betting on oil prices. That's what oil companies are. You have to kind of judge when oil prices have bottomed. And then you buy it. And then oil prices go up and then the company makes a bunch of money and then your stock goes up. Okay? So highly volatile based on the price of oil. Pretty simple, okay? This company, an independent energy company, engages in the exploration, expensive, development and production of oil, natural gas, and natural gas liquids in the U.S. It operates in Delaware, Eagle Ford, Anadarko, Williston, and Powder River basins. I've never heard of any of those in my life. And the company was founded in 1971 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So they've been around a while. They have a history of profitability. I think they know what they're doing. And, I'm not super concerned about the company going bankrupt anytime soon, but we'll see when we look at the financials. So we can first see the revenues all over the place. Why is it all over the place? Because it's tied to oil. This is the revenue for the past 5 years. For the past couple of quarters, the revenue's basically been flat, probably because oil prices have been flat. But it's all over the place. All over the freaking place. Let's see. Did they do any impairments or write-downs of assets? Asset write-downs. Okay, all the way back in 2020, they had a couple write-downs, but who knows what that was for. But overall, the company's been basically profitable. I mean, they have a history of profitability. Let's see. Are they buying back shares? They are slowly buying back shares. You can see that they had 655 million shares outstanding. And over the past couple of years, it's come down to 622 million. Buying back shares. That's good. At about 2.5% per year. Let's see. Dividends. Dividend growth has been a little lackluster. Okay. They had a huge explosion in dividends when times were good. And now when times are kind of mediocre and okay, they're being a little bit more conservative with their cash, and the dividend growth has dropped. So the dividend per share was at a high of like $1.30, $1.40, and now it's at 44 cents per share. So that's the volatility with oil. It's all over the freaking place. But when times are good, I mean, they've been showing some decent profits. I mean, they're going to have, if there's a huge increase in the supply of oil, I'm sure profits would drop, but they've had pretty solid profits. I mean, 30% operating margins, 40% operating margins. When oil's doing good, they're making money. Okay. Or when oil prices are stable, they make money. It's the fluctuations that cause the problems. So if we look at some of the metrics, so it's got a PE of 5.77. So cheap, according to traditional valuation metrics. Forward PE of 7, price to books of 144, and price to tangible book value of $1.81, 1.81. So basically, you can buy all the tangible assets of the business for if they were $1 for $1.81. Okay, price to operating cash flow 3. I mean, everything's cheap on a fundamental basis, but that's not the whole picture. Okay, it's all about oil prices. It's the cheapest it's been since 2020. Wow, I guess we got a lot of oil coming through in the rest of the world. All right. Now, some interesting things I noted was we obviously saw the correlation between oil, the price of oil, and the company's stock price. Pretty easy correlation there. However, on December 6, 2024, Richard E. Muncrief provided notice that he will retire from his position as president and CEO and as a member of the board of directors. All right, the CEO just retired. That's kind of important. Okay. And they appointed Clay Gaspar as president and CEO and as a member of the board. Mr. Gaspar currently serves as the company's executive vice president and chief operating officer. Okay, so they have an insider who they promoted because the CEO retired. He's making $1 million a year and an annual bonus of 130% of base salary. Wow. And it looks like he got some stock options as well. Mr. Muncrief's decision to retire from the board is not the result of any disagreement with the company on any matter relating to the company's operations, policies, or practices. That's what they're saying, okay? But that's just something to notice. The CEO just changed over, but they promoted an insider and the COO and the vice president to the position of CEO. So I guess that's nothing to worry about. So the first thing I wanted to look at was disaggregated revenue. Because when you look at a company's revenue, it's not just, you need to understand like where the revenue is coming from. Basically, all this company's revenue comes from oil. This is a very oil heavy company. They have gas and liquid natural gas or whatever. But the vast majority, let's see, what percentage of this company's revenue in the most recent quarter was from oil? 85% of this company's revenue was from oil. So if you want to watch a commodity to really judge this company, it's going to be oil, okay? And then they have some midstream revenues as well. I believe that's like moving oil from one place to another, or gas, whatever. Midstream revenues, 72% is oil. So it's basically all oil. Okay, so don't think of this as like a gas or natural gas company. It's basically just oil. All right, so let's look at some of the financial statements. All right, so the balance sheet as of September 30th, 2024. So cash has dropped a little bit in the 6 months, but accounts receivable has increased a little bit. Nothing crazy there. Total current liquid assets of $3.2 billion on the balance sheet. This should be in millions, right? I imagine that's in millions. Let's look at their long-term assets. Oil and gas property and equipment based on successful efforts accounting. That's interesting. $23 billion. So this is a very capital-intensive business. Most of their assets are in oil gas, all the land and the oil that's in the ground, and the equipment to get it out. That's where all their assets are, obviously. And then other property, plant, equipment. So they've actually increased their oil and gas assets pretty significantly. They had 17 billion of assets as of December 31st, 2023, and that's increased to 23 billion. So over a $5.5-6 billion increase in the course of 9 months. So they're definitely like buying a lot of fields. That's what it looks like. Goodwill, no change. So they have a little bit of investments, but they haven't impaired them. So I guess that's good overall. A little bit of leases, but insignificant. They basically just own everything. A tiny bit of investments, but not significant. So basically, %82 of this company's assets are in land and equipment. Current debts. They currently owe $2.9 billion in short-term debt, but they have enough current liquid assets to cover that, and they're cash flow positive, so I don't see a huge issue. Long-term debt. They have $8 billion, almost $9 billion of long-term debt, but they're not really that levered because they own a crap ton of property. We got $23 billion of property on $8.8 billion of long-term debt. They did issue some long-term debt, about $3.2 billion over the last 9 months, but you got to raise money somehow. You issue stock or you raise debt. Okay. So no crazy debt there. Deferred income taxes. I mean, that's an accounting thing where you're expecting to pay taxes in the future because you got tax benefits now. But that could change based on changes in tax law. So that might actually go down if Trump does tax cuts. Let's see. Common stock. So common stock overall has increased. It could be stock options, but they're still buying back shares. Yeah, they've been issuing stock, but then they're buying it back. So the net increase is negative. Retained earnings are obviously profitable. So I don't see any huge red flags. I mean, they have enough liquid assets to pay their short-term debts, and they don't really have a lot of long-term debt relative to their long-term assets. So pretty decent balance sheet. Okay. Let's look at the statement of cash flow, see if there's anything crazy in the last 9 months. Okay, depreciation. I'm trying to see if there's any like weird items on here. No crazy items on there. They bought a lot of property, plant, equipment. Obviously, we saw that on the balance sheet. Looks like they sold maybe Grayson Mill. Looks like they sold it. They received $147 million for Grayson Mill acquired cash. Let's see. So for financing activities, they repaid $472 million of long-term debt. They spent $295 million in the past 3 months on buying back stock. They paid $272 million in dividends. So it's roughly half and half share buybacks and dividends. And then the remaining chunk is going to pay off current debt holders. Over the past month, they've paid $756 million in buying back stock, and they've paid $794 million paying dividends on their stock. So, I mean, there's nothing really bad or red flaggy on this company's financial statements that I can see. But keep in mind that these interim financial statements are unaudited. So, let's see. Here's some of their investments. Okay, like they have some investments that they track on their balance sheet, but they're immaterial. I mean, they have this Catalyst, Water JV, Matterhorn, Fervo, but these are tiny investments. The total value of the investments is $718 million. Basically, when the underlying investments turn a profit, they write it up. And when they pay a dividend, they drop the value of the investment balance on the balance sheet. So that's why you'll see fluctuations. That's why the investment balance went up. It doesn't mean they invested more necessarily. It could just be that the companies that they own had underlying profits, and part of those profits get moved to the income statement and the balance sheet of the parent company. So, but like I said, there's no crazy, there's not a huge amount of investments. There's not a huge amount of goodwill. Debt situation's not bad. Profitable, dividends, buybacks. I mean, you're getting positive. The underlying company is profitable and returning value to shareholders. So we already explored that, the most of this company's revenue is from oil. They had a slight drop in oil revenues compared to last year. Gas revenues are down pretty significantly from 189 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2023 to 49 million. And let's see. Liquid natural gas revenues are up a little bit. Midstream revenues are up a little bit for oil, down for gas, and up a little bit for NGL. Is that liquid natural gas? I don't know. The freaking acronym's tripping me up here. Okay. So, they did an acquisition. Let's see. Okay. Apparently, they're getting some earn-out payments for the sale of Barnett Shale assets. Yeah, I don't see any big issues, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it's not a bad company. There's no major red flags. Let's see their debt maturity. So most of their debt isn't due until like the 2030s. Most of their long-term debt. So they have a pretty good, they're not going to be super exposed to interest rate fluctuations because long-term rates have actually gone up recently. They haven't come down. The Fed's cutting short-term, the federal funds rate, but long-term rates have been going up. And I imagine that has an impact on interest that companies pay for the long term. But most of their debt isn't maturing for another 5 years plus. So they're in a good position on debt. Okay, they've got a $3 billion revolving credit line. Yeah, I don't see any issues whatsoever. I mean, that doesn't mean the stock's going to 10x. I mean, it's all based on freaking oil prices. Let's see. Board of directors. Okay, they expanded their share repurchase program from 3 to 5 billion. Wow. They're buying back stock, baby. Dividends, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any huge issues, boys. I don't see any huge issues with this company. Not saying it's a good buy. Let's see. Where's most of their production coming from? Okay, most of their production comes from the Delaware Basin, followed by Eagle Ford, followed by Williston Basin. So I guess Delaware Basin, you got to pay attention to that one. Okay, gas, Delaware Basin. The Delaware Basin seems to be where all their freaking oil and gas is coming from. Fantastic. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any big issues. So what else is there on stock analysis? Okay, we have statistics. Let's see. Forecast. We got analyst forecast. All the analysts are saying the stonk is going to go up. Mostly buy and hold ratings. I mean, they're just guessing what the price of oil is going to be. Yeah, I don't see anything bad. What do you think, boys? What do you think? What's your analysis of this company? All right, let's do some comments. Before we get into comments, check out my tax preparation services. I'm a certified public accountant. If you want me to do your business or personal taxes for 2024, click the link, book a free consultation. I'll talk to you for free. I'll give you an upfront quote for your taxes. I do all businesses, LLCs, partnerships, S corporations, C corporations, and I'll do your personal taxes. Book a free consultation. Strawman is the type of guy that is old-fashioned and very allegorical. I'm an old-fashioned. I'm a boomer. We need a guild debate. He'll never do it. He's a bussy. The drones invading us. Yeah, are these like space alien drones? You can hedge against this following Jeremy Lefebvre. He anticipated the crash in 2022 and the subsequent boom. He is a great... Oh, yeah, he anticipated the crash by dollar cost averaging into like 9 bankrupt companies or whatever. Yeah, he really called the crash, bro. How high do you think long-term treasuries will go? If they print a bunch of money to bring down, won't buy. It all depends on what Trump does. I mean, if expectations of inflation continue to go up, long-term treasuries could. And that's not good if you want to buy a house, I can tell you that. Where's the link to it's not a tax course. Click the link. When the video's done, I'll do a pinned comment. Click on the link. On the first page of the PowerPoint, it says book a free consultation. Click on that, book a free consultation. I will prepare your taxes. This is not a tax course. I'm not going to teach you. I'm going to take your money and do your taxes. You can buy Opsy cheaper. Buffett is down. Buffett's loser, bro. Man, it's been so... I had to get this one done. I told the guy I'd do it today. Let's see. My neighbor's wife found out he's cheating. Should I tell him? VT solves all issue. Okay, you got divorce, cheating, infidelity, drama. Your kid gets sick. It doesn't matter. Just buy VT and all your problems go away. It's the panacea. It's all of life's problems. Why do you think I'm so happy and healthy? You think it's because I day trade? It's because I buy VT. Look at me. I'm 35. Look how handsome I am. You made a video about me. Of course, what are you doing that? Wow. They're good. Well, yeah. Let's see. I feel like boring stocks like these are going to boom in the next few years. No, all in tech, bro. All you need is tech and chip stocks. Strongman, sell me a white VT instead of Warren Buffett recommended spot. My entire channel is a sales pitch for VT, okay? Go watch my other video. I'm not going into a rant about VT. Oil and natural gas is better than... Oh, yeah. Oil and natural gas are real commodities that power our economy. I agree. Crypto is garbage. Strong man strong. Look at PP 1 year. I just made a video about this dude. Can VT really solve your mirror? Yes. Okay. Why do you think I get married over and over again? The women flock to me. They're like, oh my God, you got VT? Oh, VT. Oh, you're so hot and rich with your townhouse and your Ford Fiesta. Oh! Cheek Slayer 9000. You're looking at him, boys. All right, that's the sponsored video. If you want a sponsored video, in the pinned comment, there is a link that tells you exactly how to do it. You send me $50. I cover a topic. I can react to a video. I can talk about anything you want, as long as it's appropriate for YouTube. I just don't do stock price predictions or valuations. But I am a CPA. I can go through financial statements pretty effectively. Okay? It's kind of my skill set. I treat crypto like another equity. I just follow market cap weights. I don't discriminate. The Boglehead VT approach. Women are really attractive. VT gives me so many cheeks, bro. All right, guys. Book a free tax consultation. You'll see it in the pinned comment. This is probably my last video unless something crazy happens or I get another sponsored video. If somebody pays me $50, I'll just get it done today because I'm busy tomorrow. Talk to you later. Cheers.